incredible fan base.
A lot of people are cheering out there.
We're going to put a seatbelt on you to keep you in the booth.
Breaks a tackle at the 10, angles in, touchdown, and he has dominated this opener tonight.
I'm Jeff Gravely, along with the short-timer Tony Haynes as he creeps closer to retirement. You've got one more regular season game, but NC State's win over Florida State, 21-11, ensured that you will have 2 games left in your college career as a broadcaster.
Yeah, looking forward to another bowl game, 11th time in, 13 years. Coach Doeren's teams have qualified for a bowl and become bowl eligible. Pretty impressive. It would help the cause a little further to go ahead and take care of business against the rivals on Saturday night. The better your record, the better the bowl.
That's right. So, and, the thing is another night game at Carter Finley Stadium. We saw what it was like when they played Florida State. It helps when you play night games at Carter Finley. And when I saw the game time come out for the team down the street versus NC State, 7:30, got a big smile on my face, and I know a lot of players did as well.
Yeah, the only difference is the Florida State game, the climate was very comfortable. It's going to be chilly on Saturday night when the Tar Heels come in. They'll have the heaters going behind the benches. I can guarantee you that. So that's not going to prevent NC State fans from showing up and trying to help the football team finish in style and make it another November to remember for Coach Doeren. Last 3 or 4 years, Pack has been particularly good in November, and that's you want to be able to close out a season at the end.
One guy that has been a constant in the defensive backfield where they've had so much turnover is Devin Marshall. I mean, that guy had an incredible game. He had a career game against Florida State, 6 PBUs, 2 interceptions. He's the ACC Defensive Back of the Week. He's a Bednarik Award National Defensive Player of the Week. He put on a show against a really talented Florida State receiver in Deuce Robinson.
Marshall Island, right?
That's right. Welcome to the island, which is where Chaz is.
Well,
Hawaii.
Part of being a corner is having short memories. Mm-hmm. You've got to be confident. You got to be almost a little bit brazen, particularly when they say, all right, you're the guy that's going to take Deuce Robinson most of the night, arguably the best receiver in the ACC, maybe the toughest one to cover because he can run by you, or at 6'6", he usually wins jump balls more than most receivers. And for Devin Marshall to come out and play the way he did with 6 pass breakups, a couple of interceptions. No wonder he's ACC Defensive Back of the Week. He won a national honor as well. And so congratulations to him because this shows you how smart you and I are, okay? We're going to admit this right here on the podcast. I came to you before the game, and I said, I watched Florida State a couple of times here the last few days. I said, I don't know if NC State can stop that offense. That's how good they looked in some of their games. I mean, it is a prolific offense, one of the most productive big play offenses in the ACC. Just ask Alabama going back to week 1. I mean, Florida State has some dudes. They have some talent. The scheme is also very difficult to prepare for with Gus Malzahn calling the plays. And for that defense to go out there and hold them to 11 points was just an incredible accomplishment, particularly you consider all the issues that NC State's had on defense, especially when you go back to the Miami game.
Right.
My characterization of NC State's chances of slowing down Florida State also based on the fact that defense has struggled most of the year, and now you're playing this hyper-talented offense in Florida State and go out there, hold them to 11. Now, Florida State contributed to the cause also, right?
Sure.
They self-destructed with some of the mistakes they made. But once DJ Elliott and the defensive coaches cleaned up the quarterback scrambles with Tommy Castellanos, it made it a lot more difficult for Florida State.
Pulse of the Pack is sponsored in part by Coca-Cola. Fan work is thirsty work, so enjoy a Coca-Cola.
I stand alone with fire inside, with passion burning in my veins.
Fact, it's Ford Truck Month, and it's the best time to get a great deal on a new Ford truck. From the company that assembles more vehicles, employs more hourly workers, who help make Ford the best-selling truck brand in the Carolinas. It's Ford Truck Month. Get great deals on a huge selection, and that's a fact. Now get 0% financing for 60 months plus no payments for 90 days on select 2025 F-150 trucks.
Your animals depend on you every day. So we build equipment you can depend on every day. Equipment that powers through mud, dust, and extreme weather. So cutting hay, feeding livestock, and managing land is easier. Loaded with intuitive, innovative features and tech, Case IH equipment isn't just built to work. It's built to work for livestock producers. Case IH, built by farmers.
All right, Mr. Wolf, you're all set. Complete perimeter protection installed and monitored 24/7.
No matter who you root for, we can all identify with the best in smart home security. CPI Security is the official security and smart home company of NC State Athletics. CPI Security. Identify yourself.
From protecting your teeth and gums, to restoring your smile, to sponsoring your local team, Tar Heel Periodontics is the premier periodontal practice of the Triangle community. Our team of highly skilled doctors provide dental care as individual as you are, working with you to build a personalized treatment plan to create the beautiful, healthy smile of your dreams. With offices conveniently located across the Triangle and Central North Carolina, you're never far from the Tar Heel Periodontics family. Visit our website or call now.
I stand alone with fire inside. With passion burning in my veins.
This segment of Pulse of the Pack is presented by Coca-Cola.
All right, I've been doing this show for 13 years. I try to come up with new questions I haven't asked before, but I haven't succeeded. But I came up with one. I wanted to ask it last week. Very interested to know how a game plan is put together. Do your coordinators go in their room with the assistant coaches, put together the plan and present it to you, or are you heavily involved in it?
It depends. I lean on them to tell me, I walk in there and listen to what they're talking about, and I watch film by myself for hours and hours and hours, and then I'll go down there with a list of things that I see. All right, where you guys at, boys? Talk to me, and we'll go through it. And I'm like, well, have you seen this, this, and this? And they're like, oh, yeah, we saw it, and this is what we like. Or, no, we didn't see it. That's good, and so we collaborate. I trust Kurt and DJ and all the coordinators I've had here. They know their players. They know the tendencies of the defense or the offense. I don't coach. I'm kind of like in there just trying to know. The last thing I want is to be on game day suggesting something that the guys don't like. I want to know what they're thinking in our game plan process and why they're thinking it. And then once we watch practice, I'll go down there with a list of things from practice. Like, hey, what did you think about this play? I saw this, and oh, yeah, man, we got to change it and do this instead. I'm like, good, I'm glad you're saying that, because I would have said the same thing. Or I'll have a suggestion, like, hey, instead of doing it this way, how about we do this instead, because I did this before, and it really helped. And like, yeah, it's a good idea, let's do it. And they can tell me no. Like, I've told them that a million times. Like, I'm going to have suggestions. I'm going to play devil's advocate. And if you tell me no, I've been in your chair, I'm going to respect that. We've all coached a lot of football, and so you sit there and you bounce ideas off each other. I know at the end of the day, Kurt Roper's going to do everything he can to score points. DJ's going to do everything he can to stop points. And I'm the devil's advocate, or I'm in there just giving them good suggestions or helping them through a problem, because I've faced the same problem somewhere else along the way.
It's not only a senior night for your players, but also in your program. You've got Henry Trevathan who's retiring. You've got Smoke who's retiring. And our guy Tony Haynes is retiring. This is his actual last radio show with you, Coach Doeren, after 13 years.
It's a hat trick of three good people right there.
Yeah, it's my senior night as an old person.
Tony's always been fair to me. And from a media side, that's all I can ask for is fair, and I get that everyone in those chairs has a job to do, and some of those chairs, they're more popular when they ask the wrong questions, and Tony's never been that guy. He's always been fair to me, been fair to NC State, and definitely going to miss hanging out with you, man.
Well, you made me a better interviewer because I remember your first year, we would do your TV show on Sunday, and I think it was the first show. You walked in the studio and you said something like, well, I had to stop watching film to do this. And I said, I better be prepared. So you helped me be prepared.
So I don't have any Chaz trivia for you.
Okay.
We're not going to do trivia this week, but I am going to ask you, since you're retiring after 28 years of broadcasting at NC State, do you have some significant moments that come to mind when you write your memoir that they will definitely go in there?
Well, I tell you, it's very difficult to pick five. You asked me to pick out five. Number one on the list is a no-brainer. Obviously, what the men's basketball team did 2 years ago, right? There's nothing that happened in my time at NC State to match that and the improbability of that actually happening. And the funny thing about that is, had NC State just won the ACC tournament, 5 games in 5 days, then they come back the next week and they lose the first NCAA tournament game, that still would have been number one on the list. Because you're talking about a team that stumbled into postseason play. They lost their last 4 regular season games. There's a lot of chatter about Coach Keats and his future as a head coach of the Pac. That seemed inevitable, that there was going to be a coaching change as soon as they lost a game in the ACC tournament. They didn't lose a game in the ACC tournament. And the last 3 wins are Duke, Virginia, North Carolina. And they got better with each and every game. And just carried that momentum all the way to Glendale, Arizona in the Final Four. And I just, the memory I have of that is right after the game, I looked up into the seats in the stands and I see grown men crying because they're generations of NC State fans who thought they'd never see another ACC basketball championship.
Right.
They had convinced themselves because of the recent history of the program. And then I went down on the floor and I interviewed DJ Horn and Casey Morsell. They had tears in their eyes. And it was a demonstration of the magnitude of that moment and really what a miracle it was for that team that had struggled so much to win 5 games in 5 days in Washington, D.C. So that's number one on the list.
Number 2.
No, well, I'm not going to do an order. That's easily number one.
Okay.
The others, you can make them 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Okay.
I'm gonna go in chronological order. Okay. 2002 football season.
Yep.
And NC State, of course, won its first 9 games, beat Clemson down there in Death Valley to improve to 9-0 for the first time in school history. They went on to win 11 games, only NC State team with double-digit victories in a season, and they walloped Notre Dame in the Gator Bowl. And not only was that a fun team to watch, it was a fun team to be around. Chuck Amato led the way, obviously very charismatic coach, but there are a lot of charismatic guys on that team that were really fun to be around. And they were competitive. They led by Phillip Rivers, of all people. They talked smack to each other a lot in practice. And it was really fun to watch. And it was equally fun to just be around those guys. So that was good.
Right. We got 3 more.
All right. We got 2013 College World Series. With Carlos Rodon and Trey Turner, 2 very wealthy individuals now leading the way. I remember as they were getting ready to line up for the national anthem, it was Carolina blue down the third baseline, NC State red down the first baseline. And I took a picture of that, and I remember thinking to myself, this is awesome. NC State, North Carolina playing in the College World Series, and you see the light blue down one baseline and the bright red down the other baseline. So that's a tremendous memory. I'm going to surprise you with this one. This one might go under the radar a little bit, but it shouldn't. 2014, TJ Warren had back-to-back 40-plus point games.
Right.
41, I think, at Pittsburgh, and then 42 at Boston College the next game. Think about how rare that is to see in college basketball. TJ Warren stays at NC State for 4 years, and he stays healthy. He's going to be He's going to be the all-time leading scorer. He was so efficient.
Right.
So, and since we're getting ready for another NC State North Carolina game, 2021 game between the miracle comeback by NC State, and the Pac was down, I think 30-20 with about 2 minutes to play, and then proceeded to score 2 touchdowns within 25 seconds, and a deep one to Emeka Emezi, the aforementioned Christopher Dunn recovery on his own onside kick. And then another big one to Emeka Emezi, and NC State wins 34-30. What I remember about that is with about 2 minutes to play and the Pack's down 10, I was on the sidelines. I told our producer engineer David, modeling up in the booth, I said, all right, I'm gonna go down the tunnel and head up to the booth for get ready for the post-game show. I'm literally on my way to the tunnel on the south end zone when they hit the first big pass to Emeka Emezi. And then I called up to David again. I said, no, I'm not coming up to the booth. I'll wait out the onside kick. So I'm glad I stayed.
Veteran move by a veteran broadcaster.
Bring it in, Old Dominion. We know that it takes hard work to be the best in the game. It starts up front with protection, making sure the freight arrives safe and damage-free. Then we work as a team, packing every shipment and running every route with precision. And we always manage the clock to be on time every time, so that every drive is a scoring drive. 1, 2, 3, OD!
Now that's the best in the game. No playoff needed. Old Dominion Freight Line, proud sponsor of college athletics.
I stand alone with fire and sun, with passion burning in my veins.
All right, Mr. Wolf, you're all set. Complete perimeter protection installed and monitored 24/7.
No matter who you root for, we can all identify with the best in smart home security. CPI Security is the official security and smart home company of NC State Athletics. CPI Security. Identify yourself.
From protecting your teeth and gums, to restoring your smile, to sponsoring your local team, Tar Heel Periodontics is the premier periodontal practice of the Triangle community. Our team of highly skilled doctors provide dental care as individual as you are, working with you to build a personalized treatment plan to create the beautiful, healthy smile of your dreams. With offices conveniently located across the Triangle and Central North Carolina, you're never far from the Tar Heel Periodontics family. Visit our website or call now.
I stand alone with fire and sun, with passion burning in my veins.
Fact. It's Ford Truck Month, and it's the best time to get a great deal on a new Ford truck. From the company that assembles more vehicles, employs more hourly workers, who help make Ford the best-selling truck brand in the Carolinas. It's Ford Truck Month. Get great deals on a huge selection, and that's a fact. Now get 0% financing for 60 months plus no payments for 90 days on select 2025 F-150 trucks.
October Heart of the Pack Award winners. It's sponsored by Modern Woodman, a fraternal financial services organization offering life insurance protection since 1883. We're proud to honor those student athletes who exemplify the values of team, the same values Modern Woodman looks for when recruiting their own team members. The month of October, the winners are Kate Putman, women's cross country, and women's track and field. She is a two-time All-ACC performer in the 1500. A.J. Richardson, linebacker for NC State, trying to work his way back after an injury early in the year. Devin Mitchell, a transfer outfielder who has quickly transitioned in baseball to the NC State, playing for Elliott Avent, also in the classroom, on the field, and in the community. We thank our Modern Woodman recognition and our Heart of the Pack Award winners for the month of October.
Now you're looking at Dave Doeren and his team, an opportunity to close it out, pick up a 7th win, and beat North Carolina once again. Coach D said in his press conference on Monday, I agree with him, North Carolina has improved a lot.
They have.
Since the beginning of the season.
Their defense is pretty good.
Yeah, they get after the quarterback, and so you're going to have to protect C.J. Bailey, and I've always felt like it's easier to protect C.J. Bailey when you can generate a running game, and hopefully they can do that. But there's the team we watched, the North Carolina team we watched early in the season, like the first game.
Outside the first drive of the first game.
The first drive of the first game. At that point, all North Carolina fans were thinking that Bill Belichick was going to be the miracle worker and they're going to win 10 games, which was never realistic. But that first drive was impressive, and then TCU just pounded them the rest of the game, and we all, because we're all here in the same neighborhood, we are all keeping in touch, and we're watching North Carolina, we're watching Duke, and to be sure, they've gotten a lot better.
Rivalry week, certainly not difficult to understand, especially when you're talking about these two teams. Dave Doeren takes it personally.
It's NC State, it's UNC. Coach Doeren said the records are crumpled up and tossed out.
There's a different intensity level for these rivalry games.
About to take the field here in Carter Finley. 27th consecutive sellout. We are just about set for ball. It is off the tee, right to left. First down, C.J. Bailey with the wheels on 3rd and 9. Snap to Bailey, left hashes. Under pressure, Bailey airs it. End zone. Leaping effort, incomplete, flag flies. And it will be a pass interference against UNC. Snap on 2nd and 10 to the 15. Here's a screen pass off left side. Caught by Wesley Grimes. There's blocking, dives inside the 5. Touchdown. 15-yarder Wesley Grimes. Screen pass left side of the field. It's 6-0 Pack. First drive of the game for Pay Dirt. Devon Marshall, 2 picks and 6 pass breakups against Florida State. Here's Gio Lopez. Takes the snap. Hands it off now to June, who runs right up the back of his blockers, and he's stuffed. Nowhere to go. Caden Fordham and Brandon Cleveland are there.
NC State got tremendous pressure off both edges right there.
And North Carolina has to punt. Devon Marshall up to the task yet again on the first drive of the game. Fakes the end around. Rolls out to the left, tons of green. Tucks and runs his 4th run of the game. Speeds at the 40-yard line and dives toward the North Carolina 35. Hollywood Smothers split out like a receiver to the left. 3rd and 4 at the 11. Design rollout. Bailey snap. Fires it. Caught by Smothers. Should be a first down and is. Here's Will Wilson in the game on 2nd and goal from the 7. Snap back to Will Wilson. He plows behind Justin Jolie. Finds a crease and he's in. Touchdown, Will Wilson. A 7-yarder. Pack leads it 13-0.
Well, I'll tell you, Gio Lopez is really good buying himself some extra time running around in the pocket.
Javarius Green is short side left. 2nd and 7, knee-high snap back to Lopez at the 20. Airs it out, right end zone. It is Ship. Caught it, touchdown, Tar Heels.
That's an unbelievable throw because NC State got tremendous pressure off both edges right there.
This is the time where the NC State offense needs to put the pedal down just a little bit and reassert the momentum back in favor of the Wolfpack.
That's Rogers now lightning quick. 2 hands on the ball, spins through a tackle inside the red zone and brought down to the Tar Heel 13-yard line. Snap, Wilson sprints left side, touchdown. 20-7, NC State on top of UNC.
Delay game, offense.
That's a credit here to Carter Finley as it rises up. Tar Heels at their own 41 under pressure. Brandon Cleveland drops him.
So far, total domination by the Wolfpack.
Val Erickson is bumped out to right tackle. Snap back here to Bailey. Is hit as he throws at the Tar Heel 30. Wants it all. It's a one-handed grab. Terrell Anderson. One-handed back shoulder snag at the hip. Takes the snap with Smothers to his right. Design rollout right. Zips it. 1-yard grab. Jolie. Touchdown as he tumbles to the turf. And it's all Pack in the first half. 27-10. And NC State's hammering North Carolina here in Raleigh. Snap to Wilson. QB keeper. Big hole. Great blocking. Darius Johnson spins first down inside the 5. Rugby scrum moves. Gene turns the cleats. Touchdown. Power touchdown. On 3rd and 1, a 15-yard Will Wilson muscle run. And that will do it. NC State beats up on UNC 42-19. And the Pack, for half a decade straight, has beaten the Tar Heels. The 5th consecutive win, NC State over North Carolina, and this year it's not close in Carter Finley. 42-19, NC State.
Pulse of the Pack is sponsored in part by Carolina Ford Dealers. See your Carolina Ford dealer, proud sponsor of NC State Athletics.
I stand alone with fire inside, with passion burning in my veins.
Fact, it's Ford Truck Month, and it's the best time to get a great deal on a new Ford truck. From the company that assembles more vehicles, employs more hourly workers, who help make Ford the best-selling truck brand in the Carolinas. It's Ford Truck Month. Get great deals on a huge selection, and that's a fact. Now get 0% financing for 60 months plus no payments for 90 days on select 2025 F-150 trucks.
I've always been curious. I was the kind of kid who took stuff apart just to figure out how to put it back together. I grew up in a house where science was dinner table talk. Curiosity was just part of life. At NC State, I found the people and the place to chase those questions. When you're surrounded by people who push you, you begin to realize it all starts here.
Mr. Wolf, you're all set. Complete perimeter protection installed and monitored 24/7.
No matter who you root for, we can all identify with the best in smart home security. CPI Security is the official security and smart home company of NC State Athletics. CPI Security. Identify yourself.
From protecting your teeth and gums, to restoring your smile, to sponsoring your local team, Tar Heel Periodontics is the premier periodontal practice of the Triangle community. Our team of highly skilled doctors provide dental care as individual as you are, working with you to build a personalized treatment plan to create the beautiful, healthy smile of your dreams. With offices conveniently located across the Triangle and Central North Carolina, you're never far from the Tar Heel Periodontics family. Visit our website or call now.
I stand alone with fire inside, with passion burning in my veins.
Pulse of the Pack is sponsored in part by Coca-Cola. Fan work is thirsty work, so enjoy a Coca-Cola. We talk about great starts, and you talk with Coach Doeren about this, but you can't overemphasize a first half where you get 4 drives and you score 4 touchdowns. Against a defense that's pretty good.
Very good. And they've been on a roll. And I go back to what we were talking about in the pregame show. I mean, Virginia had a hard time doing anything against them. That's one of the best offenses in the league. And, you know, C.J. Bailey, a great judgment in the first quarter. You know, he had some scrambles. He kind of see the parting of the Red Sea a few times and decided, all right, well, you know, everybody's got their back turned in the line of scrimmage. They're running with wide receivers. So, you know, he says, why not? I'll just run up their back. And he's getting big chunk plays on those scrambles.
Sorry, man, you gotta work one more game. They're going bowling, don't know where, but I know you're up for it.
They're not getting rid of me yet, so what the heck. But, you know, that was a beautiful presentation. When I was honored with 2 minutes to go in the first half, I want to thank Kyle Winchester and everybody at Wolfpack Sports Properties for that.
You never know what the reaction is going to be like when you leave a career. What's been the reaction that you've received, and how overwhelming has it kind of been?
It has been overwhelming. I'm not a person that seeks attention.
No.
So it has been a little bit awkward, especially this week and the last few days. But I appreciate it. What can I tell you? And it's been a 3 months worth of that. And you just continue to hear from people that you haven't talked to in so many years. And it's just humbling to think that there are that many people out there that want to reach out and say thank you. But if you're a fan going home right now, no, I'm the one who says thank you. I want to thank you for supporting not only NC State, but supporting what we do here at the Wolfpack Sports Network, because if they didn't care, if you didn't care out there in the parking lot, there would probably not be a Wolfpack Sports Network, and Tony Haynes would be selling insurance or something. Okay? But so I'm the one who wants to say thank you for supporting us and what we do. And I said this yesterday, when you're sitting here with these headphones on and you're talking, you don't know if you're having an impact on somebody's life. You really don't, because you don't stop to think who's listening, how many people are listening. But because of all the people who have reached out and thanked me for what I've done here during my career at NC State, I now know that I've had an impact, and I have made a difference for people, and that is what is really gratifying.